Hey, I'm Pep, and this is a 5-minute review of bicycle playing cards. Now, I'm not going to show you how to play any particular game using these cards. I'm just going to talk about the product in general. And as you might have guessed, this is because they've sent me out product samples of some of their decks of cards and want me to talk about them. So I'm not being paid in particular, but they have provided me the decks, except for one of them. One of them is my own personal deck. Because I am a bicycle fan. But my opinions that I talk about are all going to be my own. So let's just jump right in and talk about some of these decks. Okay, so we have quite a few to go through, so excuse me if I go through these a little fast. First of all, we have just the standard deck of bicycle cards. You might notice these have a bit of wear and tear, not so much on the box. Actually, you know what? This is a great example because these are my own personal playing cards. I've played a ton with these. And you might notice they seem to be in good quality condition. None of the cards are particularly destroyed and whatnot. Very, very easily bendable. Look, I guess you can't see how hard I'm flicking it, but like flicking it pretty hard. Oh, I actually did make it bend there. But they bounce back very easily. In general, they are very high quality cards. Pretty easy to shuffle. As for durability, I mean, we can just give them a test. See. Thing is, that wasn't actually a bicycle card. That was a competitor, and they ripped because they're terrible. Little joke. But really, these things are very tough, very durable. Again, this is a deck that's been used many times, and like it's in pristine condition. You can see a little scuffing on the edges. One deck is probably all you'll need for your entire life. Jokers, pretty standard look. You got the Joker on the bicycle. This one even has a guarantee that if there was a manufacturing defect that would harm play, you can have it returned. Now, something else is something I didn't know before getting these was that bicycle's been around for 125 years. And that kind of shocked me. I didn't realize it had been that long. It's really impressive considering, at least I personally think of bicycle as the standard for playing cards. If you see people doing magic tricks or showing off new decks, generally, bicycle is the deck that they have. And if you're curious, here's some of the socials that you can go to, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, there you go, or their website itself. Now, one of the other things you'll note is that there's a free app that's mentioned. And that's something else that they kind of wanted talked about, and here's the information on the app. But essentially, you download this app, and it has rules for pretty much any standard card game you can think of, and probably a lot that you can't. You can mark them, favorite them. There's a good search feature. I'm not going to dig too deeply into that right now. I might talk about it when I teach some games later. But anyway, this is already going to be way longer than 5 minutes. So let's just look at, this is interesting because I already showed you a standard deck, and this looks like a standard deck too. And honestly, when I first did these videos, my goal was to open them fresh, so I could give the cards a smell and just do everything that you do with a fresh new box. But the thing is, when I opened this particular deck, I was so shocked that it kind of threw my video off a bit, and I kind of ended up having to scrap that. And the reason why is because these cards are blank on the back. So I'm like, oh, I must have got a manufacturing defect or something. But looked into it, talked to them about it. This is intentional. This is something you can specifically buy from Bicycle, blank-backed cards. And this could be for many reasons. One, magic tricks. A lot of magic tricks actually use the blank cards, so you need to get them somehow. And the other thing is, of course, if you want to create your own custom backing, if you want to use them for game design, like I would, for example, something like this is super helpful. So it's really cool that that's a type of card that they have. And it's neat that it's still a regular standard deck of playing cards. You shuffle it, play with it. Everything is perfectly normal. Now, getting away from normal, oh yeah, and I guess we'll look at the jokers here. Some jokers. Getting away from normal, we've got the unicorn deck. Now, this I really like for a lot of reasons. One, the back, in my opinion, it's a little busy. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I really like it. I like the colors. I like the design. The unicorn's got the rainbow mane. That's really neat. But when you actually look at the cards, it might not be easy to tell at first, but if you look at it compared to another card, it's a different kind of pink. It's like a deep, I don't even know how to describe it, but this is obviously more of a red. These are more of a pink. And then you'll notice that the face cards also have like a very royal looking design with like the deep purples. I want to find another face card because yes, they also have like that gold accent to them, which is really nice. And you might have noticed when I went past one of the black cards, something that's a little different too. It's kind of hard to notice. It's very subtle in my opinion. Of course, I also am colorblind. But it looks like instead of black, it's a very, very deep dark purple, which is really lovely. And something else is if you look at the Jokers are also done that way. So one is the standard black and white, and the other has the same deep dark purples and the gold accents. And just like a regular deck of bicycle playing cards, same kind of quality. They snap back, they shuffle easily, they're smooth. It's just very, very high quality cards, as you'd expect from bicycle. Okay, last up, and I saved the best for last, and here's actually a nice little thing where they talk about the fact that this particular type is used with an actual metallic back. I don't know the exact process that they go through for that, but if you want to look at that, feel free. And then we got the Jokers. I'll show those ahead of time. Same thing, one in black and white, one that's in the colors of the deck. And let's take a look. This is definitely my favorite. You can kind of see ahead of time. You can see the foil. It's lovely. And let's look at the actual cards themselves. So same as the back of the box, they're actually foiled. And what I really like is there's a lot of different designs you can get for bicycle cards. And they sent me a foiled one that is, in my opinion, one of the two standard colors of a deck of cards, which would be either this deep dark blue or like a deep crimson red. And so I really like that. At the end of the day, this is essentially a very standard kind of deck of cards, except for the fact that it has that beautiful foiled back. And that makes it both unique and interesting, but also not super strange for a deck of cards, if you know what I mean. People might think that that's a neat, impressive deck, but they won't, ask questions like, why does it have planets on it or something like that, It's a premium deck without going into like a weird exotic territory, I guess. Kind of like, like these. I believe you can actually get these with foiled backs too. And that's kind of something I want to talk about. So again, same thing. They're all high quality, easy to shuffle. One thing I noticed with these, perhaps it's because of the slight metallic back, and you can feel it a little bit. They're a little more slippery, and that's not necessarily a negative. It actually kind of makes them easier to shuffle in a way. Oh, I'm gonna embarrass myself and do this type of shuffle. Oh yeah, look at yeah. I'm just terrible at it. I'm terrible at that type of shuffle. Don't judge bicycle on the fact that I can't do that shuffle. Oh, I almost did it. It was so close. But yeah, so I really like these, and just on the topic of this very nice custom deck that also, even the box has, like, you can feel the spades and the hearts in there. Are those just hearts? Yeah. Oh, they are just hearts. But yeah, you can feel them, and it's really nice. But yeah, so on that topic, I kind of want to talk about something really quick. And that thing I want to talk about is price. See, the thing is, obviously, if you've played with a standard type deck of bicycle before, you probably bought it yourself, or maybe someone just gave it to you. But either way, the decks are usually somewhere between like $2 to $5, depending on where you get them. So pretty cheap, especially considering, like I said with my original deck of cards, I don't even know. Oh, that's them. I've used these so long, and they're still in good condition. I've used them for so many games, no damage essentially at all to them. In my opinion, you're more likely to lose cards than you are to actually end up damaging them. So that's the thing. If you're going to spend, let's just average it out to like $3. You're going to spend $3 for a deck of cards like this, and it's going to last a lifetime. Well, that sounds like a good deal. But I looked it up, and the price on these two decks, the Unicorn and the Cobalt, it's only about $12. Now, of course, that is 4 times as much. But if you are like me and perhaps you play card games like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something along those lines. Or you know what, maybe you even just have a board game you really like and you got custom sleeves for it or a custom insert or something that costs some extra amount of money. Well, the thing is, if card games are something you play quite a bit of, whether you're playing hearts, poker, blackjack, canasta, crazy eights, war, if you play a lot, whether it's by yourself, with your kids, whatever, it just makes sense to get a really nice deck. Because, as I mentioned, if this is going to last you for years anyway, or in the example of my grandmother, she had basically the same 2 decks of cards as long as I remember playing cards with her. So that's years. It's like 20 years. So sure, $3 for 20 years sounds like a great deal, but also at the end of the day, it's only something like $12 to get a very, very nice version of cards. And the ones I've showed off are nothing. There's very few here. I showed off 3 different types of decks, technically 4 if you include the standard. If you go to their website, there are so many. This barely scratches the surface of just how many different types of decks you can get. Are you somebody who's into like the planets and the stars? You can get like a stellar version. Maybe you want one that's like really crimson and fiery looking. Maybe you like this cobalt back that I have and you want to find like a crimson one as well. I didn't look ahead of time, but I have to assume they also have this in red. So that's the thing. If you really look, you'll find one that is probably perfect for you. And if the deck of cards or 2 decks of cards are going to last you pretty much your entire life, it'd be really cool to have a really nice version. And getting to see these and hold them in my hands and talk about them, it's definitely changed my opinion. My original opinion would be just buy the standard ones. Why not? But yeah, seeing for like such a small price difference, essentially, I know it's technically like triple or quadruple the price, but at the end of the day, like it's an extra $10. So an extra $10 that you'll never have to spend again, in my opinion, it's clearly worth it. You probably will spend more money on toothbrushes in a year than you would spend on getting a premium deck of cards. So if you have the money, this is weird. I feel like I'm like trying to sell you these when really I've just been sold on it myself. The concept that like these premium decks are probably actually worth it because I really sat down and thought about it. And yeah, I've seen regular decks of cards basically go through just infinite amount of time. It wouldn't even surprise me if you lost a particular card. You might be able to email them and just say, hey, I lost my Queen of Spades this particular deck. Can you send me an extra? Maybe they have replacements. I don't know. Don't quote me because I don't want Bicycle to be mad at me, but it wouldn't surprise me, especially if you buy. There's really, really nice versions too. There's like $50 decks. I don't personally suggest those. That's a little much. But I really bet if you lose a card of a $50 deck, odds are they'll be like, oh yeah, we got you. Anyway, this has been way longer than I anticipated, especially to just talk about playing cards. But see, that's the thing. At the end of the day, a board game is a board game. And, you can play it however many times, but playing cards are forever. You can do whatever you want. Maybe you have poker nights. Maybe you play blackjack. Maybe you play hearts, spades, canasta. I'm just going to say the same ones. I can't think of Go Fish. Even if you have some kids that you like to play cards with, they will really like these shiny cards a lot more than regular ones. Of course, then you have to worry about them losing them. So that's something to think about. Don't lose your cards. And the other thing about having a nice deck of cards like this, you might purposely take a little bit better care of it. You go out of your way to not lose cards. Or if you see someone like really really bending the cards. You're like, hey, can you not tear my cards in half, please? And thank you. Okay, I'm just rambling now. Thanks for watching. I really enjoy that you're here checking out my stuff. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I make videos that are about like board games and stuff too, not just like decks of cards. Yeah, thanks for watching. I said that already. As always, live free, game hard. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You know what? In the comments below, I would also love to hear what your favorite card game is. Like what game would you play with these cards? Even if you haven't played a card game in forever, like what card game do you remember from your childhood? Because for me, Canasta is the one that really comes, no, Spite and Malice. Spite and Malice is the one that comes to mind. So if you happen to have played Spite and Malice before, I would love to hear from you because I have never met another human being other than like my family who's played Spite and Malice. So once again, for the third time, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And until next time. Oh, you can throw these too. Of course I drop it. Oh, you can throw these too. I'm not editing out that first one. Whoosh. Oh, that actually threw pretty well. There's definitely techniques. Oh, that didn't work and went right into the light. Whoosh. Now I hit the camera. All right, the first one, that one went straight into my bedroom. So it looks like that, I'm just kind of grabbing it, about a third here. I guess this turned into a card throwing lesson. And then you kind of do like almost like a Frisbee throw, or if you've thrown skipping stones before, it feels similar. Whoosh. No. That had a weird angle there too. That one did not work. Whoosh. I'm doing it weird. If you have a lot of experience with throwing cards, feel free to tell me. I know some people, I think, hold them between 2 fingers to throw them. So ironically, that one worked really well. Now, I am throwing the really nice ones, so I hope I don't damage them. Oh, that one went far too. Okay, you know what? I think I've got it. So what I'm doing now is I'm holding a little bit closer to the corner, and then when I throw, I'm giving it like an underhanded, and they're flying this way, not this way. Vertical, not horizontal. Whoosh. That one actually came back at me. It went up and then came back. Whoosh. Yeah, but I don't want to throw them that way. I want to throw it sideways. Ooh, that one went pretty well. Whoosh. That one didn't. Whoosh. If I was throwing at a close target, that would have looked good. Whoosh. Okay, clearly, I'm just going to go through the whole deck. Well, there's one last classic game to talk about, and that is 52 Pickup. Goodbye.